Hi again, my name's Mark Newstetter, and in a previous video I introduced a concept that I like to call the universal chord. What I mean by that is a chord shape that enables you to play 6 of the 7 chords of a given key without changing your fingering. The shape is really quite simple. You already probably know it. If you play an E major chord and you add your 4th finger to the 2nd string of the chord so that you have your 2nd finger on the 5th string, your 3rd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret both on the 2nd fret. You go back to the 1st fret on the 3rd string and your 4th finger is on the 2nd string on the 3rd fret. You have an E 7th chord. And if we take that chord and move it over 1 string, you have an A minor 7th chord. Pretty simple. A minor 7th, E 7th, and then if we move it to the 4 bottom strings, we have a B major 7th. So we have a B major 7th, an E dominant 7th, and an A minor 7th. Now those are 3 chords that have the same shape, but they're not in the same key. A minor 7th, E dominant 7th, and B major 7th. They're not all in the same key. In order for us to use that shape and put them all in the same key, you have to know where to place them. So in this case, I'm going to do this in the key of D flat, and I mentioned D flat in the previous video, and there's a reason for putting it in D flat, and it really has to do just with a purely mechanical thing, and also partly to demystify the key of D flat. It really shouldn't be any big deal to play in the key of D flat. So let's just start doing that now. If you place that shape so that the chord is rooted on the 3rd fret, your 3rd finger is on the 3rd string, which is a B flat, and your 2nd finger is on F on the 3rd fret. So you have F, B flat, D flat, A flat. Your first and fourth, can I say that? 1st finger, 4th finger are on the 2nd fret, 1st finger, 4th fret, 4th finger. And so altogether you have what? You have a B flat minor 7th. Your B flat minor 7th is the 6th chord in the key of D flat. The next chord we go to, this is an A flat dominant 7th. This is the 5 chord of the key of D flat. And so we're now using what would have been an E dominant shape in the open position because we're on the 4 middle strings, no open strings. So that gives us an A flat dominant 7th, and the next chord is G flat major 7th. So we're going from B flat minor 7, A flat dominant 7 to G flat major 7. The G flat major 7, of course, is on the 4 bottom strings. So we haven't changed the shape of the chord at all. We simply moved it to the correct strings and the correct chord position to get the 6, the 5, and the 4 chord of our key. And then the next part of the exercise, we move to the 2, the 5, and the 1. So the 2 is rooted on the 8th fret on the 4 top strings. The 5, that same dominant 7th chord, back to the 6th fret. And then the 1, the tonic chord, is D flat major 7th, and it's rooted on the 4th fret. So the fret marking positions on your guitar, likely, although every guitar is a little different. This guitar does not have a 3rd fret marker, but yours probably does if it's a steel string guitar. So you're anchored on the 3rd fret for the 1st chord, you're anchored on the 6th fret for the next chord, and then the 9th fret for the next chord. So basically you're going from a dot to between the dots to another dot, and you're starting on the lowest dot position. You're going to the middle position between the 2 middle dots, and then you're going to the highest dot position, so that there's, as I said, a mechanical reason for doing it in this key at first, just to get it lined up and think, okay, I'm not worried about this being a B flat or this being A flat or this being a G flat, although it's good to know that. I'm also thinking of them as 6, 5, and 4. So say I was in the key of C, I would just simply be doing it on the 2nd fret, the 5th fret, and the 8th fret. So you see, I'm getting the spacing between these chords. That's the important part. So So if we move it from one key to another, we still get the same tonal relationships between the chords. I'm still playing 6, 5, 4 now in the key of C, and then 2, 5, 1 in the key of C. Moving it up to D flat, 6, 5, 4, 2, 5, 1. Of course, there's also 3, and we don't want to leave out 3, but we kind of added in at the end just to segue into the next concept, and maybe I'll be back with that in another video. All for now. Thanks.